Bitcoin. Now contango, okay. Contango, you know, currencies are cash settled product, okay. So currencies trade very different from a lot of other contracts because there's a lot of obviously ARB. I don't know what the percentage of ARB is now in against the futures in there, but you know, it's quite high, and it's cash settled, so it's got a different makeup of participants. You know, the even though there's a lot of there is retail participants, it's not, the percentage is not as much as a lot of other markets. So it's up to you if you want to use the swing filter, but I would turn off contango for currencies. All right, so let's just pull up, where's my charts here? Well, let's pull up British pound since that's at the top of the list. So we'll start with settings. Okay, so I'll turn off contango. And I'll just leave the swing filter disabled. Okay, so it's not enabled, so it's showing anytime the flow strength is appearing at 5. Now again, you don't have to use 5, right? You could use 3. If you're trading on a dome or, you know, on a contract, maybe you just want to use 1 or 2. I wouldn't use 1, honestly. I'd use 2 or 3 if I was trading on a dome and just looking for the next few ticks. But okay, so this is British pound. Okay, so this is showing signals at anytime the condition is met, right? If you're trading basically momentum, right? If you're trading against a dome or something, you want to know every time it's you know, there's some nice moves here, right, in the currencies. But if you want to use a swing filter, you can. You know, if you say, oh, Mike, you know, that's too many signals, I'm getting confused. Put on a swing filter. You know, it could be 5, it could be 1 even, right? So you saw how it looked before, right? There were a bunch of buys and sells. Now here you've got this nice clean buy, this nice sell doesn't work, then this nice buy that works. You know, you just got the one sell signal up here, whereas before you had a few sell signals up there, and even on the way down. You know, what else during the day? You know, a nice clean buy there. Let's go look at some of the other days. Day before, this 17th, you know, you got that one signal here late in the day, you know, getting short somewhere in here, 10, you know, this is signal bars. I mean, I have the trade entry signal on, so this is the actual trade bar that's telling you to get short somewhere as soon as you start moving in this bar. So, you know, anywhere between 10 and 15, you know, say you get short at the very low at 09, right? Down into the down. You know, there was a buy. You know, here's some buys, but those are at the high of the day. Again, you know, here's a nice buy in here. Honestly, with currencies, I don't really get involved. You know, after 2 o'clock, most contracts except the minis and micros, you know, you can trade up to 3 o'clock. But a lot of these markets sort of follow the, you know, liquidity really dries up after 2 o'clock. That's the old floor hours. Here's a couple sells that did nothing. This is British pound. Let's take a look at euro currency. Again, same settings. You know, contango is turned off. This is swing filters on. You know, here's a sell. There's a buy that doesn't work. There's no signals there. Now, again, if you're like, Mike, why do I got signals in the? I had signals at night, but during the day, you see here, there's nothing. Well, the swing filter might be too strong for you. Either that, or sorry, the flow strength might be too strong in that particular market. So drop it down a level, go to 3. Now granted, I have the swing filter on, so it's only looking for signals at swing highs or swing lows. If I disable that, I might get more signals. But you can see here, right, I lowered the strength. So whereas before there was not this buy and not this sell, by lowering the strength from 5 to 3, even you could go down to 1, right? If you don't get any signals, drop it down to a lower level. Your flow strength might be too high. If I go to 1, I expect to see more signals. Okay. and I can see more signals, right? I see this buy, this sell here. When it was at 3, it was just this buy and this sell, you know, a little buy here, a little buy there. But when you're at 1, you're going to be expecting a lot of signals. 1 is more for people that are scalping in a pure sense, right? It's the basic movement in order flow, right? In the sense that it's going from either neutral or from bearish to bullish or from excuse me, or from bullish to bearish. Okay. Now the strength is going to adjust it, you know, if you want to get, you know, a bit stronger order flow in a direction. Again, 1 is the absolute lowest, you know, so you can see here it was bearish, right? On this move down, you had a signal up here, signal here, but then at this low of the day overnight, it turned to bullish, right? And it would have, you know, had a nice move. You know, if you make these charts a little shorter, so you can see bearish, 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 bearish right on the low, but then it turned bullish, right? And it went from bullish off this low at 70, 69.5 all the way up into back up into the mid 80s. Again, this is with it set at its bare minimum. Okay, and again, you know, during the day on Thursday in the euro currency, you know, this was overnight 16 trade date 17th. Again, this is set at the bare minimum. If I were to turn off the swing filter, I mean, I think this chart would be covered in, not covered in signals, but you're going to get a lot of signals, right? So this is the barest setting, 1, no swing filter, no contango. But again, you can see, right, if you're trading a dome and you're just looking for the next few ticks, maybe you want to do that, right, to catch this. Well, this was after the Fed announcement. Let's take a look at sort of normal conditions, you know, prior. Okay, you get long. Okay, should I get out? No, it's still bullish. 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 You could ride it further. Still bullish. Now it's bearish, right? Okay, you get short. Okay, but still bearish. Still bearish. Still bearish. Okay, I've got my bullish signal. I can cover like that, right? Still bearish. Still bearish. Still bearish. Again, it's pretty flexible, you know, on how you want to use it, right? Bearish, 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 all this way down. If I was using a swing filter, I wouldn't have all these, but this is the base, the lowest setting you can use, right? That's why it's called the Flowscalper, because it's really meant to, initially it was based on my trading in markets where I'm just looking for the next few ticks. But, you know, as we were programming it and I was giving my input, you know, I said, you know, actually it can be used, you know, on longer time frames, you know, as well, if you are willing to, you know, adjust the settings, etc. So, you know, on range-based charts, I would use a swing filter, even if it's just at the 1. On volatile markets, obviously NQ, DAX, I would use a swing filter of 5, pretty strong. Now, 1 minute is obviously shorter than a 5-minute chart. And because of this, on a 5-minute chart, you may want to see more signals due to momentum as well as reversals. So I would remove the swing filter on longer time frame charts. So using the zones, again, I explained that. If you want to use them, you can. You don't have to. For some people, it clutters up their charts. They don't want to look at it. So you could disable it. Again, it's really depending on your trading style, right? So this is ultra bonds, right? This is with it, right? And you know, the reason why I would use it is if I'm scalping and I'm asking myself, do I want to stay in the trade? But I still see it's bearish based on the zones. Yeah, even though there's no buy signal in the opposite direction, I would still keep it. Now, if I was long and I got a bearish signal, okay, that's where I got to pay attention to the market, right? That's where I got to trade. That's where you got to earn your money as a trader, right? Sort of in here, right? If you're short from up here, you can see bearish signal, still bearish zone. You know, even though you got a bullish zone, you know, okay, well, let me see, is it going to start moving up or not? You know, if I had a bullish zone come in here, then a bullish buy signal, obviously I'd have to get out. But if it's just, okay, maybe it's just short covering, right? We just had this move down, right? This is gold. Just had this move down, a little bounce, a little short covering, some bullish order flow, and then followed by bearish, bearish, Okay, now it's turned bearish. Okay, it's coming up. Do I still want to be short? Yep, still want to be short. Still want to be short all the way down. So that's it. It's gone an hour and a half. I want to go through some of these questions in here because it's a bit longer. Again, for a lot of people, I'm trying to get together with Pablo to do a joint training session, joint webinar on markers and the Flowscalper. So you could have a template that works with it. Is that markers is a great tool for getting you into the trades. It can be used for auto trading. He's got a lot of nice little features in there. Is that you hit a certain loss for the day, it stops trading, or you certain profit for the day, it also stopped trading. But I like to use it to get into the trades because sometimes you do get distracted. You're looking at a couple different markets and someone talks to you, your phone rings or whatever, you got a message, so you just look at your phone and boom, you just missed your trade entry. It's a great tool for that. So I do want to spend some time up this weekend. I'll probably put out a video on markers myself outside of working with Pablo. So I'm just going to go through some of these questions here real quick. Said you charge for white glove installation. Honestly, installation is very easy, right? All you do is you just you go to NinjaTrader control panel, right? Once you have NinjaTrader up, you download the indicator to your hard drive. You just click on import. You click on add NinjaScript add-on. It's going to pop up a box. Where's my box? It's on another screen here. So here, right, downloads. You just click on that, click open, and then when it's done, it'll say it's successfully installed. And then obviously when you go to open a new chart, say for the first time, all you got to do, right, you just click here, you tick, what's this point figure, change that to minute, make sure you have tick replay enabled. You just open up your chart, whatever chart you want. Well, I'll just use the default chart, which is black. I prefer white. Some people prefer black, right? So it's there, then you just add it. You go to your indicators and you just find it in here, right? You click on it, double click so it appears down here. You enter your license token, click apply, okay? But you gotta make sure you have tick replay enabled. If you don't have tick replay enabled, it's not gonna show on the historical chart. Is it based on imbalances? Are there settings for it? It's different because someone asked, is it the same as Orderflows Trader 3.0? Don, yeah, Don, you have Orderflows Trader 2. Let me just write this down here so I know to send you an email. You should have gotten an email over the last couple months. Anybody that's got the Orderflows Trader like 2.0, or even there's some people that still actually use NT8, NT7. When we moved to NT8 a few years ago with what do you call it, NinjaTrader, with Orderflows, we released the Orderflows Trader 2.0, which was the first version for NT8. But just a few months ago, we released the Orderflows Trader 3.0 for NT8, which has got a lot more tools on it. It has the same tools, but we've added a few more tools that make it a lot easier to read. But I'll send you the email, or you could just drop me an email and I'll reply to it. The email, the upgrade for Orderflows Trader 3.0, the footprint chart, is free for existing users of Orderflows Trader. Now, let's see, our signals on the bar, are the signal at the open of the bar or close of the bar? Well, it depends, right? There's two types of signals. If you're not using the trade entry signal, it'll appear on the signal bar as soon as it happens, okay? But again, the bar is still open in the sense that the bar is still trading. If you're looking at a 1 minute bar, it's got to complete 1 minute before the bar closes. So you could have a signal in the bar if you're not using the trade entry signal. So if the bar is still trading, conditions can be bullish and you get a bullish signal, but then it turns bearish the second half and it wipes it out, the signal disappears. But once the bar closes, that's it. It's not going to, if there's a signal, it will stay there forever. If there's no signal, it won't appear, okay? If you're using the trade entry signal, meaning the order flow has to be conducive over the next 2 bars and move a certain amount of ticks, then it won't appear on the signal bar. It'll appear on the bar where the order flow confirms it. And once that's there, that's there. Whether it moves up by 2 ticks, you get the signal, and then it drops 100 ticks, you'll still have that signal there. That will not repaint ever. Is order flow combining the tools from Orderflows Trader 3.0? No, it's not. Sort of the tools in Orderflows Trader 3.0 are more specific on the order flow, whereas in the sense of, you still got to read the order flow, okay? You still got to put sort of the pieces together, but sort of the new things that we have in Orderflows Trader 3.0, such as the value area, inverse imbalances, are not part of this software. Yeah, the signals are exposed in the sense that like software like as markers can use it. Because the question is, actually I should put these, I don't want to put the questions on the main screen, because if I do, then everyone's names will be exposed. But question is, are signals exposed so Bloodhound can see them? Well, I said I don't use Bloodhound, I use markers. The markers can see them. Bloodhound, again, I have some users that use other indicators of mine that do use it with Bloodhound. Signals need to be entered manually, no auto trading. Again, you can set it up with auto trading software such as markers. So I help, I don't say I help Pablo, but I talk a lot about markers in the sense that it's a tool that I like, I use. I don't get any kickback from even from Pablo, although I wish he would give me some of his software for free. But I pay for everything, like markers, other tools. But again, I don't say it because he's paying me back in whatever he sells. I say because I like it, right? It's good. Can I access the triangles in a strategy programmatically? Yes, I just answered that. Can you use it to trade pullbacks or to just scalp? Yeah, you can use it for both. In swings or scalping. Yes, question is tick replay required to be enabled? Yes, it is. Signals show up immediately or repainted. I sort of went over that question already. As a bar is forming, conditions can be met and then unmet, right? So the signal can appear, then disappear, but once the bar is closed, once the bar is finished, it's there, okay? And if you're using the trade entry signal, even though the conditions are met in the signal bar, then the order flow over the next couple of bars moves in that direction. The signal is there, even if it reverses in that bar, it's still there. Are the symbols chart markers? Yes, they are. Let's go with these questions. What's the exit strategy? See buy and sell signals? Well, again, that depends on your trading. In a lot of auto traders, I said I trade manually. I don't set and forget things. I don't just turn on an auto markers and just leave it there and go to bed. I love the market, right? I've been involved in the markets for a long time, 25 years and over 25 years. And it's, I always have my computers on. I don't trade in the sense where I could just let something run automatically like that. Honestly, I've got kids. They do come into my office, take paper for their drawings and stuff. And sometimes I go in there, I see my screens messed up with, so they're like touching my screens. I don't want to leave it on. I trade. I will turn markers on, let it get into trades, and then I'll manage it from there. Yes, there will be a recorded video coming out. Question is, will you be sending out recorded video? Yes, I will. Renko bars, no, I don't use Renko bars, and I don't think you can even plot historical data on Renko bars. I don't think the tick replay even works on Renko bars, because you do need tick replay enabled. What does swing period signify? Well, it signifies the Um, you know, if the market is putting in new highs or new lows over a certain period of time. So contango, this question about contango. Okay, well, here's question is, do you have a list of settings that you would recommend for different instruments with different types of charts, or we should just play with it? Well, I showed you two basic settings based on markets that are volatile, right? And markets that just trade as they're not as volatile, just trade sort of normally, right? The normal function of the market to facilitate trade. So on more volatile markets, I'm going to use a swing filter because there's a lot of noise, so to speak, in the market. There's a lot of up, down, up, down, up, down in those volatile markets. Whereas markets that are sort of trade just sort of regularly, you don't have that noise. So, I was showing you this 5-0 is the swing filter. You don't necessarily need a swing filter unless you really want to filter out trades. 5 as the flow strength and 1 as the contango strength. Because that sort of leads into the next question is, so E-minis would not need contango? Well, you don't necessarily need it in the E-minis, but I find it gives you a few extra signals that you might not necessarily need, because E-minis is, again, it's one of those contracts, even though it's cash settled, there's a lot of commercial players in there as well. So yeah, I would use contango in E-minis, but I'd set it at 1. You don't need to set it as 5. You don't need to set contango at the same contango strength at the same strength as you would the normal flow strength. The main setting you got to mess around with, I say mess around, but get used to in your market is the flow strength, the normal flow strength. Okay. Then next would be the swing period, if you're going to use a swing or not, and what period you want to use. And then last one would be contango. Yes, signals stay up all day long. Can you use it on more than one chart, meaning 1 minute and 5 minute together? Yeah, that depends how you trade. Me personally, I look at one chart, I trade that one chart. I don't trade 5 minute against 1 minute, although I do monitor. If I'm trading a 1 minute chart, I do look at what is happening on a 5 minute chart. If it's if it's bearish, is the market still going down, etc. This is a lot of stuff to remember. Do you have a recording of this? Yes, there will be a recording. Did you list the settings for different instruments? Yeah, roughly. Yeah, I do have one there. I showed you earlier. And again, it's going to be in this recording. And again, it's the problem with putting out a list is sometimes, people think it's set in stone, right? Like, oh, Mike says you have to use in this market, on this time frame, on this chart, you have to use this setting. No, right? That's what I recommend based on what I would use for that market, right? Maybe I don't. You look at nat gas. I do look at nat gas, but I don't trade it. And somebody comes up to me, I'm a nat gas trader. What settings should I use? Well, this is, I'll take a look at it. I'll start with my basic settings that I use for all markets, because you don't want to start getting into really finessing the settings, right? A good tool, especially if you're reading order flow. Order flow basically follows every, whether you're trading the markets, whether you're trading crypto or you're trading cars or beanie babies or whatever, it's the buying and selling that's going on in the world that's affecting the market. So, you could adjust the settings, but you shouldn't have to like try and curve fit it all. But yeah, I do have, start with the general settings, and I had a list there. And again, it'll be in this recording. I'll probably make a PDF of this presentation as well that you can download, which I'll throw in the email, the link that you can download it when I get it out later. Is it useful? Used it with the pulse or turn signals. Again, it's a different indicator. It reads different things in the order flow. Does it work well on tick charts? Yes, you can use it with tick charts. If I load the indicator and look at last week's charts, are the signals accurate? Do you have to run live? Well, yeah, the signals, you could open your chart up 10 times, it'll still be the same signals. You have to run live. Well, if you're using tick replay, you can see last week's signals. And if you're running live, then you're fine. How far ahead on the trade entry signal can we set? There's settings on there. You don't have to go beyond. I use 2 and 2. The max you go is 5 on either of them. You don't want to wait. You get a signal in the order flow. You don't want to wait. If you're on a minute-based chart, you don't want to set the trade entry signal to 10. You're waiting 10 minutes for the market to move based on what's happening right now, because in the meantime, there could be something else coming into the market that is opposite to what gave you the signal in the first place. So that's why I keep it within the next couple of bars and next amount of ticks. Again, if you're on a volatile market, maybe you want to set it to 3. I played with 5 on very volatile market like NASDAQ, back earlier in the year when the markets were really berserk, back in April and March. But 2 is fine. How well would Paul ask about Bloodhound? I said, again, I don't use Bloodhound, but other people do on other indicators of mine, and they say it works. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I don't use Bloodhound. How well would this work on a commodity like lumber? Honestly, I haven't looked at lumber since I was on the floor. I've looked at a chart, but I haven't looked at a footprint. The old, one of my favorite stories when I was on the trading, this is sort of an aside, is I was a runner. So when I first started out on the CME floor, I ran. You start out as a runner, just basically as the lowest life form on the CME is, running orders to the trading pit. And I ran an order, and like an idiot, I'm holding it up to the broker so he can read it. But then these guys in the pit, the broker was Wood. That was his badge number, name, Wood. The guys in the pit are looking through the paper to see what the order was, sort of pick it off. But anyway, that's sort of an aside. Honestly, I haven't looked at lumber. I'm sure it would. Honestly, I'm kind of curious. Let's take a look at lumber anyway while it's here. Random length lumber. I don't even know what month is going on here. So what do I got? Let's take a look at the settings. Well, yeah, you probably don't want to use contango. This is what it's set at the slowest level settings. Nah, not really. No, I'd say lumber is probably not a market you want to use this with. But again, I don't think many people trade lumber based on what I'm seeing here in the order flow. I'm kind of curious what the footprint looks like on lumber. Yeah, there's just not enough flow going on in lumber, at least on a 1 minute chart. If maybe on I don't know if even 5 minutes would be good enough on lumber. I would stay away from lumber in general. That's sort of been my experience with lumber since I was on the trading floor. It's a market that, in my experience, has always been controlled by a select few. At least when I was on the floor, we used to joke because the guys on the pit would be like, okay, because it's all like a family business. It's like my brother-in-law and my cousin. They're all the locals in the pit, and be like, okay, everybody, market opens, everybody short, okay, limit down, like that. But what's the minimum data for a chart? 1 day, 3 days? Again, it's up to you. I think I use 5 as my setting. But you can adjust it. You can go back as long as you have the tick data. You can go back how many days needed. That's sort of how many days of data needed for a 1 minute chart. You can start at 0, But if you want to look at past data, you can go back. As long as you have the data, you can go back weeks. Do you backtest? Yes, we backtest. Do you ever set it on autopilot? I set on entry on autopilot. I don't let it take me out on autopilot unless the market moves so fast it just either stops me out immediately or hits my profit target, which sometimes, in these markets, they do that. Then he talks about how do clients backtest. Well, everyone sort of does it their own. They share the results with me, but again, that's a private thing. Are the signals exposed so they can be read by Shark? Yep, I've answered that one. Derek, can I split payments? Honestly, we try to, if you want to split payments, email me and we'll discuss it. I have an introductory price right now for the time being, where it's pretty low. But eventually it's going to go up because we're launching this big over in another market. But I want, you know, my users to get a good deal on it. So on the signals, unless I was just curious, why not showing on all major swing highs or low? So the question is on signals on last chart. Just curious why signal not showing up on all major swing high or low, is because that chart was probably not the swings were probably not set. You know, it was probably showing swing filter was probably off. Because if you have a swing filter set to 5, if it's the high of the day, which would be your swing high, obviously, it will still show there. Question is, I purchased the Orderflows course back in August. Do I have to pay for this Flowscalper? Yeah, this is a separate indicator. It's not included in the Orderflow course. Can you use both next to, let's see, goes through some more questions. How many days data are you loading? Again, I sort of answered that earlier. You can load as many as you want. What is the minimum? Well, the minimum you can start at 0, but you know, I suggest at least the last day or 2. Can you see crude oil? I showed crude oil. So the signals appearing are on close of bar. Yeah, I explained that. Again, it's the signals will appear if you're using trade entry signal, it'll appear within the next couple of bars. And if the bar is still alive, if you're not using trade entry signal, if the order flow conditions are met, the signal will appear, but it can change until the bar finishes, okay? Because the order flow can change as the bar is still trading back and forth. But once the bar is closed, that's it. They will not repaint. Would you run 2 charts, one with swing, one with filter? Question is, would you run 2 charts, one with swing on and one with swing off for better confirmation, or to stay in a trade longer? Yeah, you can. Honestly, I'm so used to looking at how the markets swing, so to speak, that I'm just used to it. Again, I'm always looking to be buying at lows, swing lows, or selling at swing highs. I'm just trained to do that now. Do you use an ATM? Yeah, well, with you know, that's one of the nice features in most trading systems now is you got to use an ATM, period, whether you're trading manually or whether you're trading auto. As soon as your trade gets in, you got to put in a stop, you know, especially in, you know, these markets at volatile times. You could get stopped out 10 seconds afterwards, or you could hit your take profit 10 seconds afterwards and the market reverses. So yeah, you'd want to do that. A minute or 10-minute chart. A minute or a 10-minute chart would sometimes produce same signals as swing trade signals. They can, you know, it can. It's no guarantee. You know, obviously conditions are going to be different if you're looking at a 1-minute chart versus a 10-minute chart. Ultra bonds, Francois, my favorite market. Yeah, it's a nice market for a lot of people. DAX, can you show DAX? Yes, I did. Where do you have your stop and target? Again, you know, I prefer to read the order flow once I'm in the trade. I do have E-minis. You know, when you're setting stops and targets, initial stops and take profits on your ATM, understand the market rotations and what the levels are, right? Like E-minis is about 4.5 points. So that's what I have my stop and my take profit in. So, you know, 16 and 16, I think that is. It's just what I have programmed in there. So that's 4 points on either side. And then I'll adjust it accordingly. You know, if I see the market going nowhere, then I'll just move my stop up, or maybe move my take profit down, or just get out. You know, I'm an order flow trader. I read the order flow. I don't use stochastics. Question is, do stochastics or MACD work to confirm entries? I don't know. I haven't looked at stochastics or MACD since 1997. Can you show quickly ES 30-second chart bonds? Mike, can you show quickly E-mini 30-second chart and ultra bond 4-range chart? Yeah, let me just, okay, well, first I'll put a what was the one? E-minis. Let's go here to E-minis real quick. Let's give it a second here. I forgot what settings I'm using here on this chart. I think this is set pretty low. Again, I would use on a 30-second chart. If you're trading a 30-second chart, you're probably looking to trade some momentum. So I'd probably keep this off, swing filter off. I would start at 5. I would keep definitely a contango there and go from there. So this is 0, 5, and 1. Okay, so just give it a second to come up. Then I'll take a look at Ultra Bond, preferably also without the trade entry signal. Yeah. Again, this is a 30-second E-mini chart. You know, if you're scalping, you're looking to get in and out. You know, if you're on a 30-second chart, you're looking to trade a lot during the day. So you just, you know, you're going to be using rotations for your stops and take profits. This was Friday during the US session. This was the cash open here. And this is prior to cash open. This was the evening session. Go back, you know, even the Asian session was at 21, that's 9 o'clock Chicago time. You know, again, that nice move up off that low to the swing high. And again, I would use this sort of, you know, you're in this position, right? Your rally market's going up, going up. Should I get out here? Sort of coming into this area where there was some selling earlier. Well, you know what? The order flow is still bullish based on this here. You know, the day before is a little bit, the Thursday was kind of choppy, but you know, there was some trades to be had, some moves to be had. Death by 1,000 cuts on choppy days. But again, if you're trading with the swing filter off, you know, it could help you stay in trades a little longer, right? Because you're seeing the confirming order flow happening, right? That's the day before. Again, some nice move down, going into the weekly non-farm with a weekly number, jobs number. But earlier than that, again, some decent moves. Night session, again, some decent moves off this high. Ultra Bond 4 range charts. Where's Ultra Bonds? Just really quick here. So this is Ultra Bonds. Again, if you're Ultra Bonds is great market scalping. So this is with swing filter turned off. Swing filter turned on. Again, really cleaned it up. You see this sell here, this buy did nothing. These sells would get stopped out. Then you again catch this nice move. People say, well, I got stopped out. I stopped out here. Well, this move here from starting at night at 24, 21, sorry, 212.24 down to 211.24. That's a full point, right? There's another full point here. So ultra bonds, that's why people love these ultra bonds, is if you could catch a move, you know, like that, it's a powerful move, you know. This day here, it's kind of, if you don't have the swing filter on, again, it's up to you if you want to use it or not, or you could even set it to 1. I'll show you. So this is swing filter turned off, right? You could have caught this big monster move, almost a 2-point move down. Another thing you might want to do is set it a little closer, 1, swing filter of 1. Again, I did that pretty fast, but if you have swing filter set to 1, right, 1, you know, you could catch more moves. I'll say it's 1 tick better than having it turned off, but it's going to give you a little bit of the minor swings, you know, which is, you know, some nice things here in the ultra bonds. How many days of data you're loading? Again, it's up to you. I load, and whenever I load a chart, I always start with 3. Great webinar. What's the best email to contact you? Mike at Orderflows. Yeah, Phil asks about Forex spots. You can use, what people do in China actually is they use the data from the CME, and then they just trade the forex spot market, the euro currency or the pound. They use the 6E, the 6B, 6J on their chart because the data is better. It's centralized, whereas forex data is not. So it's then they just execute on their forex accounts at wherever. So that's I don't like using forex data, but can because the data is kind of crap. It comes from everywhere. Yes, this again is being recorded. Yes, it is. Jerry, is there any special deals? Yeah, right now I got the special deal. That is the special deal. When you go here, because later it's going to go up. Are there limited market orders? Well, it depends on how you trade. Again, about shark indicators. Yeah, you can. Can I use it on any one of 3 PCs, one at a time? Well, NinjaTrader, the way the licensing works with our indicators is they're linked to a certain machine ID, right? And if you have 3 PCs, each PC has a different machine ID from NinjaTrader. So it would require 3 IDs, 3 license tokens. So you'd need literally 3 copies. We are gonna, for people that are in that situation that want to have it on more than one PC, email me. We do have special deals for that. Price does not include 2 machines. It is for 1 machine. But again, if you require more than 1 license, email me and tell me how many licenses you need, and we'll put together a special offer. Can you use it as a standalone? Yes, you can use it as a standalone. If you don't use order flow at all, if you just look at normal bar charts, which I purposely showed just bar charts on here, you can do that. You could also use it on a footprint chart. I use it on a footprint chart, but a lot of people haven't made that transition to using full-fledged order flow. No, there's no trial period. The question is there a trial period? No, there's not. I don't offer trials anymore because I want people that are serious about their trading rather than just shiny object syndrome. Oh, here's a new indicator, it looks good, I'm gonna buy it, and then just return it. It's I really go through a lot of charts and show you guys a lot of charts. I'm doing this webinar so you could hopefully understand is this if for you and your type of trading and the markets that you trade. John, Dave, I would like to add my own custom NT script to Flowscalper. Do you have a programmer? Do you recommend? You shoot me an email. I'm not gonna. I'll answer it there because I do have programmers that I work with. Markers. Question is, what is Markers? It's a trade entry software, trade automation software, I guess is a better term. Is there a demo trial version? No, there's not. Do you have a use NT or do you have to use NT8 for Flowscalper or work with NT7? No, only NT8. We do not support NT7 on this. We've never programmed it for NT7. I haven't used NT7 since I think February of 2018. And can you please show ES or NQ? Yes, I did. Yes, you could run it on a tick chart. Can it be run on a tick chart? Yes. Bonnie. Yeah, Bonnie, I'll take a look at your email. Again, it's the upgrade is free for Orderflows Trader 3.0. Well, I'll send that out to you. Will it work on a 30-second chart? Yes, it will. I just showed you E-minis 30-second chart. Vadim, I'm not sure of your question. Do you expose signal data series publicly that can be accessed by external strategy? I'm not sure of that question. I'm not a tech guy. I'm not a programmer, so I can't ask that, but again, it does work with other systems in the sense that you could add it to markers and it'll read the signals. Does Delta Scalper function similar to Flowscalper? No, it doesn't. It's completely different. John asked, what do I have to do to have the signal stay on all day? They will all stay on all day. You don't have to do anything. Venom asks, do you use other levels like daily volume profile, trend lines, pivots, open range, and conduction with order flow? Yeah, I do. Actually, that's a whole nother training session. Paul, do I have a trading room? No, I don't have a trading room. Yeah, if another question is, are updates free? Yeah, their updates are free. Usually the individual indicators, we don't do many upgrades on them, but like our regular software, if we did, it would be free. It would send you an email and all you gotta do is just download it and install it. Gord, are you using this indicator? Do you turn anything on in Trader? Gord, I'm not sure of that question. Maybe you can clarify that in an email to me. As well, did you answer the question number of days? Did you answer the question on the number of days of data need to load? Again, you can start at 0 if you just want to use it going forward, or you could load like 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Honestly, there's really not a need to load more than 5 days of data, unless you really want to do more in-depth system. Is this a standalone system? Yeah, it's a standalone in the sense that you don't need to use order flow with it, but I use order flow to manage my trades. So it's up to you. Second license, James asked about a second license. Yeah, I'll send you an email on that. Jerry, you've left, but yeah, just send me an email. Jerry's left, but when you watch the replay, Jerry, you're asking about third licenses, etc. Just let me know. Shoot me an email as usual, and I'll get back to you on that. Brian, what's the best indicator to trade pullback in direction of trend on 1 minute chart? Well, again, that's a whole style of trading. I've got a couple weeks off. Usually I take the last 2 weeks of the year off, catch up on things. And one of the things I plan on doing is, make some more videos on different ways of trading it. Obviously pullbacks is a way a lot of people trade, and I want to talk about that. But again, that's going to be another presentation. Ness is asking about discounts for 2 or 3 indicator package deal. Yeah, shoot me an email on what exactly you're looking for, and we'll get to that. And Bonnie, yeah, I'll take a look at your email and your upgrade. Make a note here, Bonnie. Upgrade from Orderflows Trader 2.0 to 3.0, 2.0. Because I gotta also check your license, so it might take me. I'll get it definitely to you this afternoon. John, you gotta send me a screenshot of your settings. Okay. And send me a screen and make sure you got tick data enabled, because it sort of sounds like if you don't have tick data enabled when you open a chart, then the chart is running. It's going to, from the moment you open a chart and it's running, it's getting the data from your data source. It's going to plot. Okay, but then you close everything down, and then today you open it up and you see no signals. Is your chart probably doesn't have tick data enabled. Okay, so just go through that steps. Again, is the price listed a one-time fee or a monthly fee? It's a one-time fee. It's a lot of people have this model where they want recurring payments coming in every month. I hate that. My kids buy these things on the app store. Sometimes I see my charge card, what's this, $9.95? You know, so my kid bought something that's just recurring forever. And sometimes these things you try to cancel them, it's such a hassle, you can't. That's why it's just a one-time fee. It's not a monthly fee. Orderflows Trader. Are these trade indicators on Orderflows Trader? You still use it? Yeah, I do. It's, for example, I don't have it on that footprint chart, but whoops, wait, wrong chart. Get here my ultra bond chart. So for example, you know, I would, well, it's on my other PC, my trading PC, yeah, I have it added on there, right? So it's going to signal to me where the, you know, where it's occurring, right? Then, you know, once I get into the trade, because I run markers also on the order flow chart, then it's going to get me into the trade. Then I manage it based on what I'm seeing in the order flow. So yeah, I'm still using it. So, you know, if I'm, you know, say I'm, I think I got this thing turned everything off. Let me see if I got another footprint in here, like a normal one. This is the bulge, but you know, say I'm in a trade, right? And it's, well, find some, you know, situation here. You know, is if I'm short, you know, from somewhere in here or whatever, just hypothetical. Okay, it's still going down. This is a 5-minute chart. And I see something like this, right? The slingshot POC, yeah, I'd probably still stay short. Okay, then if I'm still short, so if I'm short from, I don't know, 98, okay, then it's just going sideways here, and I start seeing, okay, this is bullish, right? Order flow sequencing. Then I get up here, it's sort of right around my entry point, and I see another bullish thing, the POC slingshot. Then I start thinking, okay, well, maybe I've you know, what am I going to do? Am I going to hold this trade or not? It is, because this is a bullish sign to me, right? I had a bullish signal here. Maybe I got out already here at 95. If I'm not out, I got a bullish signal here. I'm going to watch. You know, maybe I'll move my stop down to just you know, right above this area here, because if this next bar starts shooting up, you know, it could pop 10 points on me. So I'll still watch the order flow. What you're setting for trading for KL? Hey, Jason. Where's my KL chart? You know, they got the new contract in KL. They just relaunched that micro. It is crap. The FM70, but let me just find my KL chart. There, it's swing filter off 10 for the volume. 5 contango's turned off. Since it's an interesting question, show you palm oil. Palm oil is a nice contract. Let's set that to 2. What do I? Might be a little confusing with all these signals, but you know, palm oil is also a nice. I love palm oil. I move a lot through it in palm oil. I spent a lot of time trading palm oil over the years professionally. But palm oil is also a nice contract to trade. You can catch some big moves. KL is pretty quiet most of the time, but obviously these last few days have been really big moves in the market. Palm oil is also a nice contract to trade. But again, that's only for us, you know, for few people. You're one of the few people I've met that have asked me about those markets outside of, you know, people that work as in commodity trading firms. So it's nice. Some say volume is the key. Early and proper entries. Does Flowscalper reflect volume-based moves? Yeah, it does. It does take into account volume. You know, volume is very important, right? Because not all prices are equal in how they trade. You know, I mean, that's the big difference between an indicator and an order flow indicators. Normal indicators don't even look at volume. They just look at price. They're price centric, and basically they're just taking the math and trying to manipulate price. But you know, without volume, you're really left behind. Brian just asked real quick, just a couple more questions here, then we'll be done. How to turn on tick replay. All right, so I'll just show you this real quick. So here, right, when you try to load a chart, okay, anything, right, you'll see there's tick replay, right? You got to click that when you open a chart, right? Then you click OK. If you don't have this thing that says tick replay, okay, I'll show you. You got to go to Tools, go to Options, under Market Data, Show Tick Replay. Okay, you got to make sure that's ticked, because if it's not ticked, okay, this is what it's going to look like. Chart, right? I'll go to open the chart. You'll see there's no function here for tick replay, right? You have to have it turned on. You have to have it enabled. So go to Tools, Options, Market Data, Tick Replay. Click Apply. Click OK. Click Chart. And you'll see when you open the chart, click Tick Replay. Now, I don't know about you guys, but okay, so then we'll open the chart here. So, so this is your normal black screen. When I open charts, I don't go through that whole process. I just duplicate the chart. So for example, let me just get my regular chart here. Here, right? So, okay, so this is my normal chart here, right? I don't go through that. I just duplicate the chart. I just click on here, duplicate chart in a new tab, just so it just shows up in the bottom down here. And it's going to have all my settings. So if you have tick replay already open, then it's going to show up in there. Okay. And then I just go in and I change, if I want to mess around with the settings or add another indicator on a chart or something, that's how I do it, rather than going through that whole control panel thing and opening a chart. All right, so I think that's about it. James asks, James asked about classes that help interpret market data, psychology, because he talks about how he's finishing up his MBA, and you still got some money left on your GI Bill. Yeah, you know what? Market psychology, honestly, these economics professors nowadays it's kind of stale. I don't. I was fortunate. Like I said, I went to school in Chicago, and I had a course on futures. Actually, my teacher was a member of the exchange, and we even had a contest in class about futures trading. But honestly, psychology, right? Just how people think, because basically you're trading against other traders. You're not trading against the market, right? You're trading against what other people are doing in the market at any point in time. So there's a lot of psychology. Honestly, I read, and take a step further, sports psychology. If you could find a class on sports psychology, it's not going to help you think. Sports psychology will help you think internally, right? Because athletics and trading has a lot of overlap in the way traders think and the way athletes think and prepare and basically live their life. So it's a fascinating subject. I mean, plain psychology might be a little, just general psychology might be a little boring, but if you can find like a sports psychology thing, even one or two classes, you might find it very fascinating. Anytime I get a book on sports psychology, I just find it fascinating reading how these Olympic athletes spend their lives. Even professional athletes, their mindset, right? Because that's going to help you out just in life in general, I think, on being successful. So anyway, guys, I've gone over almost 2.5 hours. Wow, it's been great. Thanks. Again, don't be shy and sending me an email, a question. I hope I was able to get to everybody's questions. If I didn't, you got any other further questions, just shoot me an email. Yes, this is recorded, and I'll get it out to everybody. So just hopefully you can do you can do some, have a nice Christmas. And again, this is not time to be trading. It's the end of the year. Get ready for next year. The markets are going to, even though it looks bleak sometimes, like, people are, even though the market's at all-time highs, it's the end of the year. The market's going to be choppy, going to be volatile. Just, now is not a time to be trading. And you have a loss and it's going to affect your Christmas. Forget it. Enjoy the time with your family. Um, and Merry Christmas, everybody. And hope to hear from you soon. Again, any questions, shoot me an email. But for those in my weekly sessions, I'll see you guys back in January 5th for our weekly session. So have a great holiday. And again, thanks for your time today. Again, it was a long session. So have a great rest of the weekend and a great holiday. Bye-bye.